Naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraye nashtaprayeshu abadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatir uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Reading from text 19 of Canto 6, chapter 1. Is it? Sakrin manah Krishna padara vindayor niveshitam tat gunaragiyetiha nadeyamam pasha pritascha bhatpatan swapne abhipashyanti chirna niskritaha. Please repeat. Sakrin manah Krishna padara vindayor niveshitam tat gunaragiyetiha nate yamam pasha pritascha tat bhatan swapne apipashyanti hi chirna niskritaha. Sakrin manah Krishna padara vindayor niveshitam tat gunaragiyetiha nate yamam pasha pritascha tat bhatan swapne avipashyanti hi chirna nishkritaha. Sakrin manah Krishna padara vindayor niveshitam tat gunaragiyetiha nate yamam pasha pritascha tat bhatan swapne abhipashyanti hi chirna nishkritaha. Ladies, Matajis, chanting. Good.
Sakrin manah Krishna padara vindayor
niveshitam tat gunaragiyetiha Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. I think it's a very long purport. Although not having fully realized Krishna, persons who have even once surrendered completely unto His lotus feet and who have become attracted to his name, form, qualities, and pastimes are completely freed of all sinful reactions, for they have thus accepted the true method of atonement. Even in dreams, such surrendered souls do not see Yamaraja or his order carriers, who are equipped with ropes to bind the sinful. Purport: Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam praja aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayashyami ma suchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. The same principle is described here. Sakrin manha Krishna padara vindayoho. If by studying Bhagavad Gita one decides to surrender to Krishna, he is immediately freed from all sinful reactions. It is also significant that Shukadeva Goswami, having several times repeated the words Vasudeva Parayana and Narayana Parayana, finally says Krishna Padara Vindayaho. Thus he indicates that Krishna is the origin of both Narayana and Vasudeva. Even though Narayana and Vasudeva are not different from Krishna, simply by surrendering to Krishna, one fully surrenders to all his expansions such as Narayana, Vasudeva, and Govinda. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mattah Parataram na anyat, there is no truth superior to me. There are many names and forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Krishna is a supreme form. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Therefore, Krishna recommends to neophyte devotees that one should surrender unto him only, Mam Ekam. Because neophyte devotees cannot understand that the forms of Narayana, Vasudeva, and Govinda are Krishna directly, or Krishna directly says Mam Ekam. Herein, this is also supported by the word Krishna Padara Vindayoho. Narayana does not speak personally, but Krishna or Vasudeva does, as in Bhagavad Gita, for example. Therefore, to follow the direction of Bhagavad Gita means to surrender unto Krishna, and to surrender in this way is the highest perfection of Bhakti Yoga. Parikshit Maharaj had inquired from Shukadeva Goswami how one can be saved from falling into the various conditions of hellish life. In this verse, Shukadeva Goswami answers that a soul who has surrendered to Krishna certainly cannot go to Naraka, hellish existence. To say nothing of going there, even in his dreams, he does not see Yamaraja or his order carriers who are able to take one there. In other words, if one wants to save himself from falling into Naraka, hellish life, he should fully surrender to Krishna. The word Sakrit is significant because it indicates that if one sincerely surrenders to Krishna once, he is saved even if by chance he falls down by committing sinful activities. Therefore, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9.30, Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananyabha sadhur eva samantabhyah samyak vyavasito hi saha. Even if one commits the most abominable actions, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated. If one never for a moment forgets Krishna, he is safe even if by chance he falls down by committing sinful acts. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Lord also says, Neha vikramanastosti pratyabhayo na vidyate swalpam apiyasya dharmasya prayate mahato bhayat. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Elsewhere in the Gita, the Lord says, Nahi kalyana kritkaschit durgatim tata gacchati. One who performs auspicious activity is never overcome by evil. The highest kalyana, auspicious activity, is to surrender to Krishna. That is the only path by which to save oneself from falling down into hellish life. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has confirmed this as follows. Kaivalyam narakayate tridashapur akasha pushpayate Durtantendriya kala sarpapatali prokta tadamstrayate Vishwam purna shukhayate vitti mahendradischa kitayate Yatkarunya kataksha vaibhavatam tam gauram evastumah. The sinful actions of one who has surrendered unto Krishna are compared to a snake with its poison fangs removed. Proktahata damstrayate. Such a snake is no longer to be feared. Of course, one should not commit sinful activities on the strength of having surrendered to Krishna. However, even if one who has surrendered to Krishna happens to do something sinful because of his former habits, such sinful actions no longer have a destructive effect. Therefore, one should adhere to the lotus feet of Krishna very tightly and serve him under the direction of the spiritual master. Thus, it is all, in all conditions, one will be akuto bhaya, free from fear. Om Tat Sat. Om Agyan Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Dinamane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Charini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Sakrin Manah Krishna Padaravindayo Niveshitam Tat Gunaragi Yariha Nate Yamam Pasha Britascha Tat Patan Swapne Api Pashyanti Ichirna Niskritaha. The glory of a devotee who has surrendered to Krishna and the benefit he has in terms of him not being in the realm of the judgment of Yamaraj. He has got nothing to do, Yamaraj, with devotees. There is a shloka in the Skanda Purana that says that the Yamadutas, when they see devotees of the Lord with tilaka and kantimala and chanting Japa, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and absorbed in serving Krishna, they scream and run away. Just like dry leaves swirl around in the breeze and are scattered. This analogy is used. Just like that, they scream and they run away, seeing devotees. So devotees are so scary even to Yamadutas. The only people who can scare Yamadutas are devotees. Why? Because of their adherence to Krishna Padara Vindayo. Right? And the context here is about what if devotees do something wrong, sinful. So the shloka says that even if it does, that is a very temporary thing. Why? Because a person has fallen in love with Krishna, is very absorbed in service. And if something incidentally does happen, then that will not be able to influence him so much, sustain itself, and keep him under the grips of material nature. It's not possible. Why? Because the opposing force is bhakti. The opposing force is Krishna. And Bhakta and Krishna, like we have discussed, have got a very strong relationship. It's not a relationship of this world. It's not a relationship like ordinary relationship of this world. Then a person who becomes a devotee starts experiencing that powerful, strong relationship, which is completely to do with his status, original status, right? What is his original status? According to that, he is reviving that relationship, and that is very strong, eternal, forever. So it's not ordinary relationship. So even if the person has a little slip materially, he is already fixed spiritually. Is fixed in bhakti. But if the person is fixed in karma, jnana, yoga, and if he slips, slip only. He will not come back. With bhakti yoga, it is different. It's only for bhakti yoga. Apichat suduracharo bhajate ma. It's only for a bhakta, not for a yoga, not for a karmi, not for a jnani. Karmi jnani makes a single mistake, zoom, is gone. Nobody is there to save him. Because it's all rules, regulations, observance, austerities, penances. And if you fail in that, it simply works like the mathematics, government, laws. That's it. Black and white. But here, because Krishna is involved, it is different. This is the greatness of being fixed on the lotus feet of Krishna. Means falling in love with Krishna and thinking of Krishna and being absorbed in Krishna's service. So that's a different nature completely. That's being discussed here because the discussion is about what happens if a sinful person wants to stop his sinful activity. That is the discussion. And Shukadeva Maharaj is saying he should atone for it. And Parikshit Maharaj already said that doesn't work. Atonement does not work. He jumps back again into. Why? Because he has nothing better to do. If you don't have a higher engagement, you will always jump back into the lower engagement. Same thing, comfortable, I know how to do it, everything is available, I'm used to it. Zoom, you go into that again. The danger of the comfort zone in the material world is not to be underestimated. We think it is very casual. It's okay, I'm feeling comfortable. I like to do what everybody is doing around me. I don't want to do something odd like the Hare Krishna people. I got to do something that everybody is doing to be safe, to be accepted in society, to be normal, to be considered normal. Actually, everything in the material world is abnormal. This is not normal. To make normal the abnormal is stupidity. The whole material world is stuck into that stupidity by the force of the three gunas. That is why Krishna is saying that what is day for the self-realized is night for the conditioned. And what is night for the condition, what is day for the condition is night for the self-realized. It's all topsy-turvy. Urdhvamulam athashakam. Upside down banyan tree. Krishna has explained in Bhagavad Gita very nicely. So don't think this is normal. It is Maya that's putting its energy on you, making you think it is normal, making you think it is comfortable. And when you are settled down, it will again attack you. Once you are settled down mentally, you think it is okay, that's when Maya will attack you. Put you into deeper illusion. So that is why he's saying, Smaranityam anityatam. Chanakya Pandit is saying, always think about the temporary false nature of this world. Right? So the question here is, those who are absorbed in the absolute truth, those who have understood that this is temporary, those who have realization by Krishna's mercy that this is not real. I call it realization. You are actually getting into the reality. You are understanding Krishna is everything. Krishna is the basis. Aham sarvasya prabho, matta sarvam pravartate. Like that, when you come to know that and you start thinking about it, you feel that I should spend time with the real. I should be absorbed in the absolute. This is where I belong. And you start investing time in that. And the more you do it, the more you get absorbed and the more you get attracted. That the threshold of not being allowed to get fully attracted to Krishna. Very powerful Maya. Mama Maya Duratyaya. Not fully getting absorbed. That threshold is very difficult to cross because you think that should I not, should I not? Is it true? Is it real? Can I invest? Will it be okay? But I'm also attracted to this and attached to this like that. This way, that way, this way, that way. So when a person decides no, this way, that way, this is real and absorbs himself, he may do something wrong a little bit because he's still in the material world, his body is still here, his mind is still here. But it does not matter, is being told. It does not matter. That is only incidental. That's only very temporary. From the past, there is some momentum. But the person has already gained the right track. He has already determined himself out of understanding, out of conviction. He knows this is it. I've been searching for it, janma after janma. Vasudevam sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. I have finally found what is real, right? And I'm getting adhered to it. Little bit here and there happens, it's not going to have effect on me. Simply because some small thing happened doesn't mean my conviction in Krishna will be lost, my faith will be damaged, I will have to stop chanting Hare Krishna. It never happens like that. Never happens like that. Because you're very fixed in your determination. That's the meaning of devotee. This does not mean that we can keep on saying it does not matter actually. Krishna said apichat sudracharo and commit sinful activities and legalize it. And legalize it. Of course, it's just a temporary thing. You can permanently do a temporary thing. You understand what I mean? You can comfortably do a temporary thing and keep quoting the shlokas. The mind is very crazy. It'll program you for all sorts of things. It knows how to program you using the intelligence saying, yeah, you're right. And keep you in the grips. But really a devotee says here, is not interested. He has no taste. If he has no taste, he will not pursue it again and again. Why? Because he is attracted to Krishna. Raso varjam rasopyasya parandrishtva nivartate. He has got a higher taste. So don't think Krishna, an attraction to Krishna is just another occupation which is more sophisticated. It is not a material occupation. It's not a material occupation. Gradually, as you discover it more and more, it is very deep, very meaningful, and gives answers to all questions that you have. And therefore, you become more comfortably situated in the reality than in Maya. The comfort you get in the reality takes a little time. Takes a little time. You settle down very slowly. You settle down very slowly, but you never come back. You don't trace your steps back because you are very convinced about everything that you would do, because you will get that conviction provided by Krishna from within the heart. So it says here, the argument given by Parikshit Maharaj is, what is the use of atonement? Why? Because the root of sin is still there. The root of sin. You can burn up everything. So Parikshit Maharaj is giving Surakumbham Ivapagaha. If you put liquor in a pot, those days pot means mud pot like thing. You put liquor in the pot and then you drink liquor and then you want to now, no more liquor, I want to wash it. And I wash it and wash it and wash it. He's saying the liquor will never go from the pot. How much ever you wash it, it will never go from the pot. So he's giving that example here. You will see, my dear king, as a pot containing liquor cannot be purified even if washed in the waters of many rivers. Non-devotees cannot be purified by process of atonement, even if they perform them very well. What to speak of devotees? For non-devotees also, it's useless. Atonement. That's the best part of it. Because why? They're suragumba ivapagaha. Right? Another example he gives is, he's saying that you can burn the tree down, all its leaves, branches, everything down. But one thing is, you have not seen that the roots are extending inside into the ground. You leave it alone for some time, you think it's burnt off. It's fine. The roots will grow again and start sprouting. It'll start sprouting again. Why? The sinful desire, the capacity for sinful desire has not been rooted out. It'll keep germinating again and again. As long as you live in this world, as long as you remain attached to all material situations and circumstances, there is always a danger of you being sinful. That is the principle being told here. Sinful activity is very natural for those in this material world. You cannot stop, even though you are the best of persons, you cannot stop sinful activity. Some way or the other, you're involved and you'll get implicated. Then you'll start doing more and more of it. Why? Because that is the nature of this world. Why? Again, because you're not fixed in the absolute truth. Right? So this is very nicely being made out here, simply being explained. So each one of us, if you look into your heart, you can make out how my situation is. This is what is the meaning of a heartbeat. A devotee, when he touches heartbeat, pulse, and they put the stethoscope, he has to see something different. Dig, dig, how much of material attachment I can see. Lup, dup, lup, dup, lup, dup. The sound comes. You know what's the pulse of it. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai ki. The heartbeat. I remember a long back once in the Gulf, I had gone for a complete checkup. There was one Oriental doctor, devotee, very nice devotee, who arranged for me to do this thing. And then there was a doctor there who did, I think for the first time in my life, I did all that. Some ECG, I don't know what it's called. They put all these probes on it and they ask you to run on the treadmill and all that. So you have to sit and so he was looking into the screen and said, "Your heart is pretty good." He said, "You're capable of keeping good this thing and all that." So I asked him, "So Krishna is there? You saw?" He burst out laughing. He burst out laughing. So I said, "What's the meaning of saying your heart is good?" Of course, I started preaching to him a little bit. So heart is a very important thing. Krishna is situated there, you're situated there. And we live material life out of the head. We live material life out of the head. Intelligence, mind, and everything, and discrimination, doubt, this, everything. But devotional life is led out of the heart. That's a different domain. Don't ask me details about what it is. But that's a different domain. You're awakening your love for Krishna. And it is based on your love for Krishna. And you become attracted. You become very attracted because Krishna is worth getting attracted to. He has got all the qualities. How Prabhupada is making a point here. See, Krishna Padara Vindayo. After him, Shukadeva Goswami repeatedly saying Narayana Parayana, Vasudeva Parayana. Finally, he's saying Krishna Padara Vindayo. He's making a point. And he's saying that if we fix our mind on Krishna, includes everything, ultimate, then there is no reason to be afraid of anything else. Now, all this may sound very theoretical to us. I heard these things many times. Krishna, lotus feet, fixing your mind and all that. But I just don't know what it means practically. Not been able to do it. I've not been able to do it. The answer for that is it's not that you have not been able to do it. It is just that you are very impatient. You think the results should come immediately now. Just like I flick the phone, the thing should change. I just touch it like that, everything changes on the screen. It should happen like that. It should happen like that instantly. It should happen. It's actually not like that. Because what you're asking for is something very, very precious. Devotion to Krishna. It is not something that you can flick the phone and get so easy. If you really want it, then you must patiently execute it. And you must wait. You must train yourself. You have to focus. Because Krishna is going to watch whether you can sustain it. It is Krishna who is involved in giving you bhakti. Directly involved. Right? So therefore it will take time. All other things you can get from the demigods, material things. Krishna is not directly involved. For gyan, for karma, and everything the demigods can give you. But bhakti, Krishna is involved directly. And he will make sure that you can sustain it. He'll make sure that you know how to handle it. If you want relationship with me, I want to make sure that you can sustain it. So it will take a little time. But throughout, the devotee knows one thing. I'm definitely going to get it. Tatte anukampam susamikshamaanah vunjana evatmakritam vipakam tatvat vavdubir vidadhan namaste jiveta mukti pade sadhaya bhak. As much as the treasure of my father will automatically come to me, because I am one of his sons. It has to come to me. When my father passes away, even when my father is there, I'm enjoying the treasure. When he passes away, it will come to me. Is a definite understanding of the son. In fact, my father has already written the will. And what I'm going to get also, I know, the material world I'm saying. To that much of definite understanding a devotee has, because I am doing absolute truth activity. I am pacifying the Supreme Lord. I'm pleasing the Supreme Lord. I am chanting the holy name. I am rendering devotional service to Krishna. It is not like any other religious activity. Therefore, it will take a little time, but I will definitely make it. That is the meaning of Krishna saying, don't get bewildered by Maya and don't get bewildered by it taking time. Kaunteya pratijanahi name bhakta pranashati. He doesn't say name pure devotee pranashati. He says my devotee. Why? He's a desire to be a devotee. A very burning desire. I want to be a pure devotee of Krishna. Right? So he will definitely be able to make it. Just a matter of purification. Sometimes the purification takes more time with some people. Sometimes the purification takes very less time. With Bali Maharaj, it took very less time. Because Vamana was directly involved in purifying. Step by step. 3 steps got purified. 3 steps of Vamana, he got purified. And in the last step was a little confusion for Vamana. Why is he not surrendering? I have pushed him to the corner. He can't do anything else but surrender. Why is he still thinking? He's bringing his grandfather, Prahlad, to talk to me. No, 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 I don't listen to Prahlad. You. It's about you. And then Bali decided, okay, you're asking for me. I surrender to you. It happened for Asura. It happened. From somewhere down in the negative axis, minus, infinity, boom, he came up and shot up to infinity plus. Because he decided. Jada Bharata Maharaj took 3 lifetimes to do it. So it happens differently with different people. And that's an individual thing. Prabhupada told us, in this lifetime only you should go back to Godhead. Do not waste time, Prabhupada said. Don't think, oh, Jada took 3 lifetimes. I must definitely take more lifetimes. So it's okay to indulge a little bit in this and that. Anyway, it's going to take more lifetimes. I don't have to be so strict and be a little diluted. No, it's only when we become focused does it actually happen. Right? Ajamila is a case of a person who is completely out of focus. It's totally out of focus. Suddenly got into focus because of this event happening in front of him. Wow, Yamaduta, Vishnuduta, what the heck, what happened? I got completely off track. And now I'm reminded. Oof. And then he went ahead and started chanting Hare Krishna and went back. The Vishnudutas came with a transcendental airplane and took him back. What an event for him, right? He had forgotten it. Similarly to Vishnu Chitta, you'll see one of the Alvars. His story is also a very beautiful story. He is completely surrendered and he is having a beautiful garden and he cultivates the best of Tulasi garlands for the Lord and he does a flower garland and he's like absorbed. He got nothing else to do, right? But he's tested. He's very comfortably situated in devotional service, very fixed in devotional service. But he's tested and he becomes a victim of some society girls, some challenge with somebody else. And I don't want to go into the details, but he becomes completely implicated with this lady. And he forgets everything, like Ajamila, very similar. He forgets everything and is completely enamored by her. The power of Krishna's illusory energy sometimes looks like it is far greater than bhakti and devotional service. But actually, that's apparently that we see. And Vishnu Chitta is, Lakshmi and the Lord are coming in a procession on a day. And the Lord is very keen in actually pushing himself into Vishnu Chitta's life. Again, because he's my devotee. Temporarily he is lost. Right? So he comes and this prostitute, this lady has so much enamored him. And he has a misunderstanding and some fight or something. So he comes outside into the outside room. The windows and all will be there. Like Tinnai, they will say in Tamil. Like a veranda like thing, the house, it will be there where you meet the guests and everything. In the Tinnai, he will come and sleep, lie down and check. She's not focusing. I'm not able to, enjoy. And the Lord will come on a procession in the street. And it's mentioned the Lord will purposely stand in front of his house by his own arrangement. The big kirtan, sloka chanting not going on, and a pallaki, he has come all the way. And he's standing right outside his gate. He's completely oblivious to it. He's so absorbed. This is this thing, and he tries a lot, and then he turns around and goes, the Lord. Then Lakshmi will tell him, how you are just leaving your devotee like this and going. Look at him. Why don't you do something? He's your devotee. It's Lakshmi who tells the Lord that you should do something about Vishnu Chitta. He said, some illusory stuff is absorbed in. Why don't you get him out? If you want, you can do that. But Krishna is saying, you should on your own turn around. But Lakshmi is saying he's not able to. Why don't you do something? Shake him up a little bit. Like Ajamila got shaken up. Watching the Vishnu Duta, my gosh, what has happened to me? A second chance I got. Then he went like that. So a shake-up was planned. And then the golden pot of the Lord was planted in the prostitute's house by somebody. And then she was accused, and this happened and that happened. And finally, he was shaken up. And then he knew what is happening. So whatever happened to me? Why did I do all these things? I was so much absorbed in devotion service. He wakes up. And then he understands it's by the mercy of Vaishnavas that it happened to me. I got picked out of that. Similarly, the Lord is actually showing his mercy to Achamila. If at all there is one thing that you can rely on, is Krishna's mercy. Krishna will never forget you, especially if you have chanted the holy name and you have done seva for him. You may be dragging your feet a little bit and making it difficult for Krishna to fully take you back. But Krishna is never forgetting you. He is all out to get you. He's going around you and attracting you in many different ways. So we should understand the meaning of bhakti and the position of the Supreme Lord and our relationship with him. Bhakti is so strong. Why? Because of its absolute nature, because it is Krishna. That at no point of time can it go waste. Can it become a useless effort? Sometimes devotees get morose. So many years I've been chanting Hare Krishna. As though so many years is very important. What about so many janmas you've been hanging around here? Millions of janmas. So many hours, so many years only you're talking about. What about millions and maybe billions of janmas you've been hanging out here in the material world? Why don't you take an audit of everything together? Why are you so in such a hurry that now only you started Hare Krishna? You discovered who you are. You haven't even understood Krishna fully. Now you understood Bhakti fully. Before you start executing everything properly, not working. Very impatient and very impulsive to conclude that it's not working. Krishna is sitting in your heart and saying, it's because of you, man. You are not surrendering. You don't surrender, but you have a judgment on. It's not working, Krishna's process. Seriya matingide. While Noravarmari is chanting panni, 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 I am not able to do that. No. Like I explained yesterday, you have to be happy that you're already situated in the absolute truth. You're chanting, you're serving Krishna. What are you expecting? What are you expecting? Some trip into space? I thought when we go to Vaikuntha, we will have a free trip. Somebody told me, you're already enjoying a free trip around the sun once in a year, he told me. How much you are going around? You've been going around free trip around the sun. What to speak of going to America or something? It's a big trip you're going on. Every year, the earth goes around the sun once. So you're having a solar trip here every year. You don't know? You're constantly on travel. The travel agency here is Maya. Put you on the special travel. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Then janma after janma, you're doing it. You're a great traveler, actually. You've gone through many different planets and many different species. Nana yoni fire. Actually, each soul is a great traveler. But I did not take me, I did not go to this place. No, you're already traveling a lot. Traveling a lot. You don't know? You don't know what's going on. So, when we open up to the full understanding, we know we can be here and be in Goloka by chanting the holy name. That is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, you can see. Wherever he goes, he carries Vrindavan consciousness with him. Because it's not necessary to physically do it. I should physically serve Krishna, mentally serve Krishna, intellectually serve Krishna, devotionally serve Krishna. And the rest is taken care of. I am well settled. So this is Bilvamangal Thakur's shloka that says, what is it? Praharshayishyami sanata jivitam. Kada, what is it? Nitya kinkaraha. I am your eternal servant, my Lord. When will the day come? I am already serving you. When will the day come that I will with praharshayishyami, with great happiness, I will serve you, knowing fully well that I am your eternal servant and I have a wonderful sanata jivitam. Nath means my father, my protector. Anath means I have nobody to protect me, to look after me, to give me shelter. So in the material world, all of us are anath. But sanata jivitam. When will the day come when I will fully recognize you as my protector and my only hope and my only shelter? Matprana natastu sayeva na paraha. There is nothing else and nobody else who can give me shelter like you. When will I realize that and enjoy my service so much? So it is your consciousness that has to change. You will be serving the same way only. But what will change is Praharshayishyami sanata jivitam. You have understood that Krishna is the supreme, my greatest shelter, and you get immense pleasure out of the same service that you're doing. You may do the same thing, that doesn't matter. But the experience of it becomes very, very different. Why? Because of a change of your consciousness, because of your full surrender to Krishna. And when you do that, you're ready to do any service. It doesn't matter what it is. What is important is your absorption in Krishna. And you can do anything. So that's why when sometimes, oh, Vrindavana, only some cowboys and some herding the cows and all, nothing very exciting. I am got metaverse now, and then so many exciting things I can create. I can make my own Goloka Vrindavana, and I can do my own things and all that. I can do amazing things. I'm a creator myself. In fact, I become God. In fact, I become God. But you know what's happening? You're just going to completely stray away into a very, very deep illusion, which is totally unreal. But this is real. This is real. So the gopas, the gopis, the cowherds are all engaged in real stuff. And they have a very deep, conscious relationship with Krishna. The enjoyment is coming out of their deep attachment and absorption in Krishna. It's not coming by the activity itself. In the external world, here in the material world, we need activity to keep us absorbed. Different types of activity. We can get bored with one activity. I've done that so many times. Can you give me something else? Sense gratification also has the same thing. Change the sense gratification. Put some color into it. You want to keep changing it. Because only then you can sustain it. It is so weak that you have to keep changing it. And there has to be change. There has to be different color. There has to be variety. There has to be all these things. But you will see that the opposite is true. The opposite is true. What really needs to change is your consciousness. And if you're absorbed in Krishna, milking the cow becomes ecstatic. And Krishna is also doing it. And taking the cow for, pasturing ground is very ecstatic event. You'll see all of them enjoying every event to the maximum. Every event, every small event is a big thing. Krishna going to the forest is a big thing. Everybody comes out in the morning. All the elderly gopis come out. My son is going with Krishna. I've given him a lunch pack. Everybody is thinking of Krishna, although they have children. He's going with Krishna. So they get absorbed in Krishna. Absorption in Krishna is everything. Everybody comes to the rooftop everywhere. It's a huge event. And they're all jumping and dancing and going with the cows and kicking up dust. Everybody comes to see it. It's separation. They're feeling Krishna is going away to the forest. And they're involved emotionally so deeply with Krishna because of his attachment. So any small event can become a deeply experiential, devotional event. Why? Because of the depth of connection with Krishna and absorption in Krishna and the relationship with Krishna in all these rasas. That is what life is about. Actually, when we experience things, that's when you really tick. So, although it is a simple thing, in Vrindavana, a village, there are cows, and the cows are taken by Krishna every day for, if you say this in a very bland way, like this. There is a village called Vrindavana in UP. It seems there somebody used to take the cows regularly and the calves regularly to the forest. He was a small boy called Krishna. He was a little different. He had a blackish complexion. And he had a mother and father, as usual. They call him Nanda and this thing. And then he used to go to the forest here and then come back in the evening. And they had a lot of milk and they had granary and full of this thing. That's how he missed the whole thing. He missed everything. But you see here, I've got such a big factory. I'm making so many things. Look at my farm full of cows, much better than Vrindavana. So many colorful cows, so many wonderful things going on here. Look at this. I'm so busy. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and everything. But I'm not at all happy. That's the real stuff. I'm filled with anxiety. I'm filled with that, this. Anytime people will take it away from me, lust, greed, anger, everything I have to work with. What's missing is there's no Krishna. There's no Krishna in it. So any simple activity that you do can become very deep experience in devotion when it's a devotional service for Krishna. Provided you're focused on it. You're mindful, to use a word that is commonly used now, and you're rendering service with absorption in Krishna. Then things become very different. Ajamila was taken away from his absorption and he got distracted. And after that, it was not that any one of his material activity also he was doing with absorption. It is not absorption. You can't be absorbed in material activity, actually. Really speaking, compared to what you can be absorbed in Krishna consciousness. You know, go to some level of absorption and afterwards you want to throw it off and come out and do something else. But with Krishna, you can go deep. Anandam buddhivartanam pratipadam purna amrita swadanam. You can go very deeply absorbed. Why? Because your ecstasy keeps increasing. Why you will not be absorbed in that one person called Krishna? Right? So Ajamila, after that event, he became absorbed in chanting the holy name. So absorbed he became that it was time for him to actually be taken to Vaikuntha. Absorption in Krishna is waiting each one of us. That is what a devotee should look for. And in chanting, in rendering service, in whatever we do, how we connect up with Krishna, how we absorb ourselves in feeling, rasa, emotion with Krishna and render that service. Then things will become different. Everything will become Vrindavan. Whatever small thing you have to do. Om Tat Sat. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nittai Guru Premanande. Any question or comment? Yeah.
We saw that for devotees, there's a whole range of surrender. So does this apply to any surrender
that from that level there is no possibility of like falling down. Swalpamapyasa dharmasya prayate matobhayat. So that is
Yeah, a person absorbed in pure devotional service. For him, there is no question of ever falling down. That is mentioned very clearly. All this is about pure devotional service. The whole Bhagavatam is about achieving pure devotional service. And the range of mixed devotional service is huge. All sorts of mixed devotional service, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Karma Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti, and Mishra all sorts of shades. But all of them are also devotees. And Krishna finds them very dear, right? He guiding them, helping them, and keeping them on track. So at various levels, according to our understanding and according to our absorption, ye yata mam prapadyante tangs tataiva bhajami. As you surrender to Krishna, Krishna reciprocates with you.
But that sloka, so, right.
Matobhayat. So the most fearful type of thing is to go down to animal life, right? So even a little endeavor can save you from that condition. But there is one pastime in Srila Prabhupada when he was walking with his disciples in Vrindavan. He saw monkeys and he said they were all devotees in past life, but they had lusty desires, so now they are here. So I'm not able to understand this.
That is temporary only. They are being cured. The cure for a devotee's life is different from the curing that you need to do for a non-devotee. Right? For instance, I give an example that I am the managing director of this company. My son also works here. Many others work here. My son is also like one of them. They are all same in terms of their learning and their material knowledge about things. What my son makes a mistake, when my son makes a mistake, I see it differently from others making mistake. Yes or no? Why? Because I am in charge of my son. He's my son. That's okay. I'll set it right. You have the full confidence, no? That is the meaning of Krishna saying, Apichat Sudarajaro Bhajate Mama. He's not like everybody else. He's my son. He's my devotee. So I'll take care of him personally. So you have the confidence that my father will protect me. Because why? This whole company belongs to him. And I have a special relationship with him. He is my father. So Prabhupada gave the example of saying, the orphan and the person who has got the shelter of parents. Two lives are very different. Insecurity is constantly there with the orphan. He can never get rid of it because he's an orphan. Right? So if my son does something wrong, I can temporarily punish him. Knowing fully, confidently well that the son also knows I am slated to go up and become MD. For sure, I'm going to be MD. So temporarily, I've done some mistake. I know for sure I'm going to be MD. I'm being punished for a mistake. So what type of this thing you will be in? You're still safe even when you're getting punished. Because you got attention. You got special tutorship, everything. So therefore, you're confident. But imagine a person who is not like that, who's an anath. If he has a problem, that is very different from this person. So when Prabhupada speaks about them, that they are all Vrindavan Vasis, they're already fixed in Krishna. They're getting a brief rap on the wrist. because of succumbing to certain things, because of being a little careless. Although you have such a position, why are you careless? So you get a little punishment. So punishment a devotee gets is very different from a punishment a non-devotee gets. They are not same. I hope that throws some light. Crude example I gave. Okay?
Half of the answer, only pure devotees have this impossibility of falling down. But the example here that Srila Prabhupada says, they are not pure devotees. So they also don't fall down, is what you're saying. In the sense, they'll be picked up by Krishna.
You see, fall down, I can fall down from the 15th floor to the 14th floor. It's a fall down. I can fall down from the first floor to the ground floor. Fall down. Are all of them the same fall down? They are not. So don't use the term fall down generally to everything and everybody. When Bharata Maharaj fell down, his fall down is not like our fall down. In fact, we never got up. We are always on the floor. There's not, fall down for you will be very difficult because there's no more falling down. You're right at the base of the pit. For some people, I don't fall down. Yeah, because there's nothing more to fall down. So don't look at it like that. You got to look at it. All fall downs are not the same. All fall downs are not the same. So sometimes you have a fall down in Varnashrama. Somebody gave up his sannyasa and became a grahastha. If you go to Maharashtra, you'll read that story of that sannyasi who became a grahastha because his guru told him, go back and go and do your grahastha duties properly. And all these 4 sons he had, no, Sopan, Mukta, Gyanadev. Who's that devotee? No, very wonderful story. And the whole society will reject him because you took sannyas and you come back. And he'll have 4 children. And those children will be tortured by everybody. But all of them are very great devotees. Very great devotees. Is that person who will make the buffalo chant, the son will make the buffalo chant Vedas? What is that person? I forget his name. Beautiful. Because although he had a Varnashrama fall down, society rejected him. Krishna didn't bother about it at all. That is some Varnashrama thing. You gave up one ashrama and went to the ashram, but you never stopped being my devotee. You never stopped serving me. What does it matter? Your life is temporary in the material world, and inside that you have a temporary Varnashrama status, and something happened there. So what? Your devotion is not affected to me. It is beyond all these things. So you can have fall down in various levels, in various ways. You can be Varnashrama fall down. That's what the shloka says. Tyaktva swadharmam charanambujam harer bhajan apakko atapate tato yadi. The shloka says, what is the use of you very nicely, perfectly doing all your Varnashrama duties and never having done anything for Krishna, never having done devotional service? Better you attempt devotional service and fall down, you're in a better position. Then, pakka, you do all your material duties. You understand? So, what is the fall down? Sometimes the fall down is the one that accelerates your whole spiritual life and you go back to Godhead. Like Bharata Maharaj. If he had not fallen on that year, maybe he would have been here forever. Sitting and being a king again and again in every janma, coming back and all. So fall down has got its own meaning and connotation properly. It's to be understood. Not everybody is, the same. I hope that helps. Yeah. Did you place the phone here for something? Oh. Sridhari Madhav. Hare Krishna Maharaj, my question may not be relevant to the class, but still if the time permits, please share your instructions. situation like what's happening in Bangladesh is increasing. How should the devotees prepare and be strong to face the situation, not allow destruction of temple properties, or should they just be like, not only, oh, you're asking in the right place, we are in Tamil Nadu. As per Varnashrama, should community not have Kshatriya Dharma? We can recollect how Prabhupada went through Jew temple land issue. Da 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 da. Yes, true. If you look into the life of the Pandavas, you can see that they were protecting everybody. They were being Kshatriya devotees, protecting everybody and making sure that everybody was getting the chance to practice devotional service. So ISKCON movement is in a very infant stage, and maybe we'll be developing a lot of different types of things, which will be very necessary. We are presently understanding the core important information to do with our life, that is bhakti, devotional service, how to execute it. And we have to build up all these other things. Prabhupada gave us the whole structure and the frame, and he asked us to go ahead and do the interior decoration. Do all the things that needs to, the painting, the windows, the other things you can do, but without the main structure. So it's up to us to develop those things, no doubt. I do agree that there are all sorts of crazy people in this world, and to perpetuate bhakti inside the situation and make sure that everybody is safely situated, we need to have our own arrangements. We should protect. No doubt that we need a Kshatriya class, we need a Brahminical class, we need Vaishya class, we need Shudra class, all sorts of things. And that's why Prabhupada said Daiva Varnashrama should be instituted with Krishna in the center. There will be all sorts of devotees. Sve sve karmanya birataha samsiddhim labate naraha. Somehow it's not taking off in a great way when we try to apply it fully. But over a period of time, we need to learn how to do that in the situation and circumstance that we are in Kali Yuga. And I'm sure that Krishna will give the intelligence to devotees to develop these things. And the situation, like it's happening in Bangladesh, it's predominantly a Muslim country. We don't want to talk too much about it. But we are bothered about Krishna consciousness and safety for us to practice and for followers of Prabhupada to practice. And we should do maybe something that's required to protect ourselves, no doubt about it. Thank you for that, Sridhari Madhava. This is Hare Krishna Maharaja. What if I think of machines at the time of death? What is my next Janma? What if I think of machines at the time of death? That's an interesting question. And it's very relevant for people of this age because everybody is thinking of their phones, thinking of their cars, thinking about their computers, thinking about their laptop and my iPad and all these things a lot. So that's a pertinent question, that what if I think of yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram. Unfortunately, you cannot be born as a machine, but you can have the bhava of a machine. You can have the mechanical bhava of a machine, technology oriented, which many of us already have right now. That black and white, and you look at people in a different way. You look at everybody as a resource, a material resource, and you gauge them quickly. What this fellow can give me, what type of gratification can he give me? When you don't look at everybody as a person, as a potential devotee of the Lord, as a person who can serve Krishna. That is the way preachers look at people. This person can become a devotee. He is a devotee resource. You look at this. So, looking at people in human resource is exactly the same thing. We're looking at the machine portion of everybody. If you look at the machine portion of everybody, is nothing different from thinking of machines. And with the bodily concept of life that we all have, we do see everybody as machines. Actually, we don't see them as spirit souls. But as devotees, definitely, we cannot afford to get absorbed in machinery. And if you do that, I do not know what that combination will be, just like he was talking about monkeys in Vrindavana. For devotees, a different type of thing. I don't know what will happen. I don't know what will happen. That's a good question. I don't think I have an answer immediately. If you're absorbed in matter, you're absorbed in machines and all these type of stuff, you may get a situation where you can fiddle around with a lot of machines in your next life, maybe. You'll get more machinery around you than you already have now, because that is your desire with technology and everything. And of course, if you start using it in terms of Krishna and then you're thinking of machines for using it in terms of Krishna consciousness, then the end is definitely different. But that's an interesting question. You know that there is, what is it? Agni. I think I heard this. Agni wants to consume the Khandava forest, and Arjuna will make it possible to do it. And that's how he gets a chariot from Agni. Something like that, if I remember right, the details. And at that time, actually, he offers technology, machines. And then he's forbidden by Krishna, saying, no, that is for Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga time, you can bewilder people by offering something like this. So in Kali Yuga, we are all very attached to machines. Everything is automated, including our relationships. Everything gets automated and everything gets machined. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, Pramila Krishnan, Hare Krishna Maharaj, what you said about impatience is true. How to handle when our anarthas disturb and overpower sadhana? Aha, welcome. That's an interesting question. I think many people would like that. How to handle when our anarthas disturb and overpower sadhana? Yes, anartha overpowering you and artha overpowering you. Which is more beneficial? Anartha overpowering you and artha overpowering you. Artha means as a value. Anartha means not of any value to you. Anartho pasamam shakshat bhakti yogam adokshaje lokasya ajanato chakre shatvata samhita. Bhagavatam is composed because people do not know that this anartha of this material world experience that they want is superfluous to them. It's actually not relevant to them at all. And if they perform bhakti yoga, they will understand artha. Therefore, Vyasadeva has composed the Bhagavad. So, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Their artha means material value. I need artha. Why? To have my kama. And when I'm sick of it, I ask for moksha. And for getting that, I do dharma. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha, entwined. There also artha means it's a value. Now the point is, anartha. What is not really valuable to you for your Krishna consciousness? You want to keep it away. But we are attached to anartha. Matter, material life, gratification. All that is the anartha. We are very attached to these anarthas by force of habit, by attachment for so many janmas together. So those anarthas are very strong and can overpower your weak faith and your sadhana. Quite possible. So how to avoid it? Make your sadhana strong. How to make it strong? I don't have that strength. Hold on to somebody who is strong in his sadhana and connect with him and derive benefit from that. Of course, you can't do pillion riding, which means that Because I'm holding on to you, whatever sadhana you do is also mine. I call that pillion ride sadhana. That you have the scooter, you pay for it, you maintain it, you fill the fuel, everything. Come and pick me up. I just put my leg like that and sit down on it. Tra la la la, you take all the trouble. I just take a ride on it. I call it pillion riding. Sadhana cannot be pillion riding. Sadhana has to be your own scooter, only you can ride. You have to have your own scooter and you have to fill the petrol and you have to ride. But you can ride in tandem with the other person. Oh, I got another person and another person. Wow, company. I get company, I feel good. Riding in tandem with somebody else. Each one has to ride his own. But riding in tandem with somebody else gives me strength for doing my sadhana. So do the sadhana in the company of devotees, in the association of devotees. It's very important to have the association of devotees. Then I'm sure that you can mitigate that disturbance for some time. Om Tat Sat. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Nittai Gaura Premanande.